Gunmen raid Kwara community, abduct residents. Container crushes woman to death in Anambra. Amnesty International says over 15 protesters languish in Lagos prison 3 years after #EndSARS protest. Away from Nigeria, UN chief visit Rafah border crossing, calls for aid deliveries to begin. These are the headlines on Trust TV News Update at this hour. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. Beginning with security matters, gunmen have invaded Ora Ayetoro community in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State and abducted some residents. Sources say that the incident happened on Monday when about 9 gunmen, 4 of them wearing masks, stormed the area wielding AK-47 rifles. The abductors were said to have also invaded the palace of the traditional ruler in the community, destroyed his residence and also burgled the shop of his wife, cutting away some items and cash. Chairman of the local government area, Kayode Bayode, confirmed the incident to Daily Trust. According to him, the local vigilantes have been empowered and are working with the police and other security agencies to rescue the victims. The police public relations officer, Ajayi Okasami, SP, has also confirmed the incident. In a similar vein, a former chairman of Ngeski local government area of Kebbi State, Garba Hassan, has been kidnapped by bandits along with 12 other people in Niger State. Hassan and the others were passengers in a commercial vehicle along Tegina Kontagura Road in Niger State on Thursday afternoon when they were abducted. All the victims were said to be traveling to Kebbi State from Abuja in the commercial vehicle when the incident occurred. The bandits were said to have been lurking in the bush between Tegina and Kontagura town in Niger State when they stormed the road and stopped the vehicle in which Hassan and others were traveling. The victims were subsequently led into the bush by the bandits, from where they were taken to an unknown destination. The Kebbi State Governor's Chief Press Secretary, Ahmed Idris, confirmed the incident in a telephone interview with our correspondent. Away from that, Suleja town in Niger State is home to several businesses with traders visiting the area on a daily basis for their wholesale or retail transactions. The visitors cut across the Federal Capital Territory and other neighboring states like Kogi, Nasarawa and Kaduna, in addition to other parts of Niger State. Trust TV Trust TV's Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida Market in Suleja, as well as other adjoining business locations where traders lamented how activities of thugs and task force officials are affecting them negatively. The report.
The traders said many of their customers were no longer interested in visiting the market due to the harassment of the thugs. They either work with the council or operating illegally, as well as task force officials that operate within the area. There are also allegations against officials of the Niger State Transport Management Agency who are accused of extorting motorists or impounding vehicles of those that fail to comply with their demands.
Firstly, we have issue of importation of goods to Suleja market due to the tax force and whatsoever called revenue. If you look at it, when we go to Lagos, we go to Aba on a char, where we buy our bag kind of market. We want a driver to take it to the Suleja. They will say no, they are not taking it to Suleja. Rather, they will take it to Zuba or Kaduna Road simply because of tax force. And anyone you are lucky to get it that is coming to Suleja, he will start charging you at high rates that you cannot afford to pay, simply because of tax force and whatsoever revenue.
If you check the line now, you can see from here to here, nobody. Those people will block the road, manipulation everywhere, collecting people money. If you buy only one single bucket and put inside your boot, they will follow you up, use their Okada, follow you up. If they catch the motor, they will hold the person, talking of 30,000, 20,000. And immediately the person pay that money, he will never come back again.
The problem we are having with them, mostly, we in the Babangida market, what we are facing from them is that even though that you go and bring your own load, coming back to Suleja, it will be problem. You will pay. You pay these people, you pay the other people, you pay the other one. They are disturbing us, not small. And because of this, many people were not coming to Suleja to buy goods again. All the people coming from Abuja before, all of them run away. Because of that, they are now going to Kubwa and other places.
Meanwhile, efforts to get the response of the chairman of Suleja Council, Isha Kubawa, were not successful after several attempts. Also, the Director General of NITMA, Muhammad Awal Datijo, an agency accused of assaulting motorists, had declined to speak when contacted about the issue.
Parents have been called upon to protect the boy child by ensuring their proper upbringing. They have also been enjoined to extend the same attention and care given to the girl child to the boys to ensure that they are protected from ills that may derail them from their path to becoming responsible citizens. The call was made at the Physical Summit of the Boy Child campaign organized by the women community in Africa. Zainab Karai tells us more.
The clamor for protecting the boy child stems from the fact that much attention is given to the girl child, not only from parents, but from government and civil society groups. Advocates of boy child protection say the same attention should also be given to the boys to ensure that they too are protected.
So empowering the girl child has received more emphasis than that of the boy child over the years. This has led to the neglect of the boy child, while the focus on gender equality has predominantly centered on empowering the girl child. It is equally important to recognize challenges and needs that the boys face in their development. In order to foster a balanced and equitable society, we need to empower the boy child along the girl child. This will help to create a balanced social structure.
What we're really saying is that we want to help our children, our boys, our girls, to manage that emotional center of the brain. So that when things happen, they're able to process the emotion. So that they're not in that stress, that fight or freeze mode. They're able to process it and reactivate their thinking brain so that they do what they know is the right thing to do.
A cross-section of Nigerians, one government and well-meaning individuals should carry the boy child along in its policies to make them contribute more to the development of the society.
The underlying cause of all this is that we have not armed our young people with the proper character and values to both challenge the ills as well as serve as a counter to those whose minds have been poisoned with negative values. The family, both extended and neutral, being the first unit of social interaction that any individual has with society, plays a most crucial role in all this.
Others believe that protecting the boy child will translate to better protection for the girl child.
Child abuse can have profound and lasting effects on a boy's social behavior, which will include low self-esteem, aggression, social withdrawal, and mental health imbalance.
Stakeholders want government at all levels to extend the privileges enjoyed by the girl child to the boy child to make them more efficient to the country. Zainab Karai, Trust TV News, Abuja.
An unidentified woman has been crushed to death by a container falling from a trailer at the Eze-Iweka area near Upper Iweka bus stop along the Onitsha-Owerri road. According to eyewitnesses, the incident occurred on Thursday when goods were being offloaded from the truck that was parked by the roadside. The container fell and crashed on the woman standing by the roadside. The acting sector public education officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Margaret Onabe, who confirmed the incident, said that it happened at about 3 p.m. The FRSC rescue team from Upper Iweka outpost. Anambra State rushed to the accident scene along with the Awada police team, making efforts to get a crane to lift the 40-feet container where the road traffic crash victim was trapped. Amnesty International has said that a total of 15 protesters arrested in 2020 are still being detained 3 years after the #EndSARS protest. A statement by the non-governmental organization marking the 3rd anniversary of the protest said that the majority of the protesters are in correctional centers in Lagos without trial. It notes that the Nigerian authorities have filed charges including theft, arson, possession of unlawful firearms, and murder against many of the protesters, alleging that some of those detained had been subjected to torture. The organization said in the past year alone, it has documented the unlawful killing of at least 6 people by law enforcement officers. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has commenced a post-development audit, beginning with satellite towns in Abuja. Trust TV's Abdurrahman Umar reports that the audit will also mark the recommencement of the issuing of building plan approvals in Abuja satellite towns. The report.
Abuja, Nigeria's capital, was built to serve as the country's capital under the Abuja Master Plan. Site and building in the city are not meant to be, as they do not fit into the plan, and as such will distort the city's original plan. This, according to Town Planner Mukhtar Galadima, the Director Department of Development Control in the Federal Capital Territory Administration (FCTA), gave rise to the post-development audit of satellite towns in Abuja.
Starting from the satellite towns, how many structures do we have? What type of structures do we have? How are they connected to the city or services? So that we can have a database that we can say, yes, the capital city is made of this, and it has these facilities and services.
He says there might be room for review of the approvals issued to some structures within the recent.
Implementation of plans, normally there are rooms for review. So if the deviation is not something fundamental, it's something that can be condoned, we say, okay, you have done this, but not in our line, but it can be condoned. So we are going to charge you ABC for this deviation. But if something that we cannot condone, it has to be removed, we'll remove it.
For many across the country who associated the effort of FCTA in maintaining Abuja Master Plan with abuse of human rights, Mukhtar says that is to the contrary.
I think there are two variables, two independent variables. You have the city's master plan, which is also a law on itself and regulations, and then you have the issue of discipline. So you see, for us to get a city of our dream, a city that everybody desires, we need to have a disciplined society. So if you are not disciplined, which means the law is supposed to take its course on you.
Sylvester Nicholas is an Abuja resident who says Abuja is not like other states in the country, and as such, people must conform to the rules and regulations for residing in the city.
With due respect, I will urge people that have built should come so that if there's a way to redirect them how to build before anything collapsing, it will be better.
Mukhtar says to get the capital city of our dreams, Nigerians must be disciplined.
People talk about Kigali, people talk about Joburg. No, what makes them different? Look at Dubai. What is all about Dubai? It's because the people are disciplined. They follow laws, they follow regulations. So long as we're not going to follow laws and regulations, we can't get that city that we want.
The owners of properties in satellite towns in Abuja are expected to, within the next 21 days, submit the requisite information for necessary action. Abdurrahman Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Supreme Court has fixed Monday, October 23rd for hearing in the appeal by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, seeking the nullification of President Bola Tinubu's victory at the presidential election. The Apex Court will on the same day hear the motion by Atiku seeking to bring fresh evidence to prove that President Bola Tinubu submitted forged certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. In a hearing notice, the Apex Court fixed 9 a.m. of the date for Atiku's lawyers and those of President Tinubu to address its panel of 7 justices on whether it has powers to grant the request. also built to address the court on the contentious request are lawyers from the All Progressives Congress and the Independent National Electoral Commission, who are joint respondents in the motion. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly. Growing concern over rampant open defecation practice in Oyo State. Details and more after the break.
Hello guys, welcome to Showtime.
I don't even believe there's any other industry that will handle me like movie industry.
Yeah.
I told you I'm deep and soaked into movie industry.
In secondary school, there's Fatima and Mariam Adamu, and then we sort of took the names of the characters in that cartoon.
I think entertainers themselves need to wake up and smell the coffee and say, diversification is the way to go. Yes, you can sing or make great beats or act in a film, but what else can you do?
I became one of the best makeup artists in Nigeria. I won AMA Award Best Makeup Artist.
Do you think we are I need the fool too? When I talk to you, you start straight. Attention!
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the top stories. Gunmen raid Kwara community, abduct residents. Container crushes woman to death in Anambra. In other news, there is rising concern over rampant open defecation practice in Oyo State, as National Bureau of Statistics said 54% of the population of the state engaged in the act. Recent reports indicate that Nigeria has overtaken India to become the #1 country in the world in terms of open defecation. Hamid Oyegbadi reports.
Experts expressed worry that the projection to end open defecation in Nigeria by 2025 might not be realistic, given the current pace in the effort to eliminate the practice. In the southwest, Oyo State is leading in open defecation practice with 54% of its 8 million population engaging in the act. Ekiti State is the second in the region with 41% of the population of the state engaging in open defecation, followed by Ondo, 39%, Osun, 18%, Ogun is 14%, while Lagos State is 3%. In Ibadan, capital of Oyo State, the people of Jago community in Onara local government area of the state said open defecation exposed them to illnesses and many security risks.
We go along with our cutlass. That means the person that knows deeply about the shit. We dig the ground, shit there, and put the sand on it.
That they fell inside the well. So those are one of the hazards. Snake bites is one of it.
Meanwhile, with intensive sensitization against the negative consequences of open defecation, many households in Jago community have constructed and began to use toilets.
When we were going to the bush to defecate because we did not have toilets, we were always going to hospitals because of sicknesses. Now that we have toilets, we no longer perceive odor or feces. Even in the night, we can easily use the toilet. We go into the bush to defecate. We eventually realized that it was not good, and we have built our toilets that we are using now.
Among the 36 states in Nigeria, only Jigawa State has been certified open defecation free in the country. A water, sanitation and hygiene specialist with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, Monday Johnson charged all state governors across the country to intensify efforts towards ending open defecation practice by 2025.
The aim of
the federal government setting this date was for all the state governments to key into that date and start the program in all the states, aiming at achieving that goal. As you can see, as of today, we have only one state that have been able to meet up that target, which is Jigawa State.
Experts said if the implementation efforts to eliminate open defecation in Nigeria continues with the current pace, it might take up to 2046 to end open defecation in Nigeria. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News.
Stakeholders in the education sector are urging Nigerian youth to embrace entrepreneurship as a solution to the pressing issue of unemployment in the country. This, according to them, will boost efforts geared towards meeting the demands of the 21st century job market. Habibat Ajayi reports.
The call to embrace entrepreneurship was promoted by the high level of unemployment in Nigeria, with countless graduates struggling to secure traditional white-collar jobs. Despite the federal government's initiatives aimed at empowering the youth, the unemployment rates continue to rise.
Currently, we are faced with a very conversant reality, which is hunger and starvation in the land. But if you look at it very critical, I think as Nigerians, we also have various responsibilities to do for us to get a better economy. You agree with me that in recent days, we have an exchange rate of the dollar going for 1,100 and so forth. Please, I think it is not just for a one man saddled with this responsibility to control this process. It is our responsibility as Nigerians, with that team that is there, to redirect our mindset and get it right for us to have national economic growth.
Stakeholders want the youth to shift their focus toward fostering economic growth and contributing to national development.
Most of the negative issues we have in this society around youth, I think it's because of lack of jobs, lack of a future. Many youth don't see a future. And while there are active steps by various agencies of government, by various NGOs and various other bodies, there's also the need to concurrently start doing things that will create those jobs.
In the last few months, in the last few years, we've been able to roll out youths without job, and we've been able to set them on what is called a call to entrepreneurship. And in that call to entrepreneurship, we've been able to let them understand what it is to stand on their own, to have a kickstart, and with little support of money to get them into starting up those businesses and ideas in making them see who they are, identify your potentials, know the things you can do.
The NAS Senate President expressed confidence in the current administration's ability to transform Nigeria into a better nation. Abibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On the foreign scene, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres visited the Egyptian site of the Rafah border crossing with Gaza on Friday to oversee preparations for the delivery of desperately needed international aid to the war-torn enclave. Now, Guterres' visit came after Israel said it will evacuate more than 20,000 residents from Kiryat Shmona, one of the biggest towns of its northern border with Lebanon, following a heavy cross-border exchange of fire in the area the day before. Cargo planes and trucks have been bringing food, medicine and other aid to the Rafah crossing with Egypt, but to date no aid deliveries have started. Guterres has called for conditions to be met in order for deliveries to begin entering Gaza. The UN and humanitarian organizations say that food, drinking water and medical supplies are desperately needed in Gaza. And in sports news, Wydad Athletic Club have departed Morocco for the African Football League clash against Eimba. The Moroccan Giants will lock horns against the two-time CAF Champions League winners, Eimba, in the quarterfinal of the competition at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium on Sunday. The return leg of the two-legged encounter will take place in Casablanca on Wednesday, October 25. Enyimba have recorded 1 win and a defeat from their opening 2 games in the Nigeria Premier Football League this season. In other fixtures, Esperance of Tunisia will take on Democratic Republic of Congo's side TP Mazembe, and Egyptian giants Al Ahly will be up against Tanzania's Simba, while Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa will lock horns with Petro Atletico of Angola. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.